Hey guys, welcome back. So this is the last batch that just came out of the kiln yesterday. So it was these five right here. So if I pulled from that, as you saw in yesterday's video or previous video, I made some bundles out of this wood here. So this run was a little bit different than the previous, how I did all the settings on it. So I put this in and I just did what I normally do on the mixed hardwood. So I put it in there, I let the systems do their own thing, and it went 12 days. I probably could have pulled it out on day 11, but I gave it one more day, so 12 days on this versus the other two previous ones were 13, right? So, and this moisture content in the kiln was way better than the other two. And I was doing massive dumps of fresh air and opening the kiln and so on and so forth. I didn't do any of that this one. I literally shut the kiln, turned it on, and that's it. I didn't touch it at all. The only reason I feel like the moisture in the wood and it was in the air and there wasn't as high as the previous two is because the wood was just sitting outside a lot longer. You know, roughly, this wood was roughly, what, 26, almost 1 month longer than the other first load, okay? So, yeah, the wood was only sitting for roughly a month and a half from being fresh cut and split. So, obviously, as we know, it doesn't matter what kind of species, a month or so is not gonna get you that much moisture out of the wood. But I'm pretty sure a lot of the surface moisture, whether it's a 1/4 of an inch in or not, was removed before it was in the kiln. So just goes to show you, the longer you let it run or let it sit outside before you put it in your kiln or whatever it may be, it will dry faster, right? Because you have all that excess moisture. Now I could have weighed these totes. You know, if I did all that, I would actually know how much water's been removed. Roughly, you know, on average, I guess you could say. Or, you know, that and or, you know, just letting it do its thing. But I did notice, because I always check on it about every 12 hours. I can monitor from my phone all the systems or whatnot, but I like to go out there and make sure everything's running properly. And the moisture, the relative humidity in the kiln, even on day 2, 3, 4, usually when it's the highest that I've seen for oak, wasn't even remotely close to that, which is kind of odd because the temperature was higher faster, which means it was drier in the kiln for me to get that temp up. So that just tells me that the moisture on the excess of the wood wasn't as high. And yes, it does bake in the sun every day for the last, you know, month or so, but the wood's dry. I mean, it is, I'd say throughout the whole batch, that this last 5 totes, it's probably the driest as a overall whole. They're about the same, but even the biggest, fattest pieces I've taken out and split, and it's like 15, 12%. So pretty happy with that. So with that being said, I've switched back over to my mixed hardwood because we've been delivering a lot of wood now. And I'm not that I'm getting nervous, you know, on running out so quickly. I'm going to regardless. That's not the point. It's I got the wood that I need to sell that's probably going to get sold faster than this oak is, right? I have sold some cords here and there. This will be my first year that I've separated pure oak, and I'm going to sell, you know, pure oak orders. Every year I get a lot of customers who want it. For a long time, I just never separated it. I don't want to do all that extra work. Just so happens that in this, well, I don't want to say last load, but the load of logs I had, there was, I don't know how many cords of actual pure oak all together. So I didn't really have to, you know, manually separate it. So I think moving forward I will, just because now that I really know how much longer this stuff takes to dry in the kiln, I just didn't think it was going to take that much longer. I will separate it because it is a premium wood, you know, and it burns longer. You know, I don't want to say it burns hotter. It's a slower burn, but it's good BTUs. You know, it gives you that long burn time. And I personally think it smells good. So, but it's all really good looking stuff. And I know I should have weighed them, but I didn't, because I knew when I picked it up, you can tell, even though it's not heavy for my tractor, that it's a lot heavier than just a mixture. That it, when I took it back out, it was super light. Like I honestly, I don't want to say it was lighter than my mixed hardwood batch, but you could tell it was pretty light. So, but I did bring over, hopefully you can see, it's the glare right now is not the greatest with the sun, but I did bring over a bunch more totes because this was practically empty in here from my other location, just so if I'm crunched for time, I can deliver right out of here versus going over there and doing all that. So right now I think it's only 20 hours on the new batch. See, we're 144 degrees currently, and relative humidity is roughly 38 there. So pretty good for 24 hours, and it'll probably stay that high humidity wise in the kiln for sure roughly 2 days. That's kind of where it'll stay. And then after that, the temp will rise and the moisture will start dropping and dropping. Every 12 hours, it'll go down 6% or so. And depending on how cold it is in the morning, if you look at the exhaust vent, because I have that exhausting at all times. Slow, it's like a vacuum exhaust. You can't tell anything now, but you'll see moisture, you know, in the steam coming right out of here. I mean, in the hardcore wintertime when it's freezing cold out, there'll be icicles coming down from there. I mean, you can just slightly bang on it and it comes right off. So yeah, I got 6 in there now for the new batch of mixed hardwood. I'm anticipating 5 days, maybe 6, but that wood's been sitting out for way longer than the oak has. I would probably say almost 2 months. So, and a lot of it actually looked pretty dry to begin with, because a lot of that wood that I cut and split, the sugar maple ash and so on, were pretty dry logs to begin with. So technically I probably could have sold it as is, but I want to make sure everything is pretty equal, you know, so try to stay as consistent as possible. So actually I'll show you how much oak I got left. I think I have another 20-ish baskets of mixed hardwood, and then that's all my green wood, I guess you could call it. That's all I got left to be dried, and then I'm out. And then I got to get more logs, cut them, split them, or so on. So this is what I got left for the oak. It's roughly 6 o'clock, and it's still a little bit in the sun, but there's plenty of airflow through here. It's crazy. It's like a wind tunnel. And you could see some of it starting to, you know, discolor from the sun and the rain and so on. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 24 more baskets there of all pure oak. So obviously if I don't start processing the new logs whenever I get those, I can get them whenever I want. I just haven't yet, primarily because I'm waiting for my new processor. So once I get that, I'll probably order some logs probably a few days before. That way when I get it, I can start using it. But once I'm done with my mixed hardwood batch, I'll probably go back to this and keep drying it, just to get them dry. There'll be, you know, and anything that I dry in the kiln stays indoors with the doors open, airflow, you know. I just don't want it to be kiln dried and then get pissed on. You know, what the customers do with it when they get it, that's their own concern. But most of them either stick it in their garage or shed or whatever. So, but yeah, kind of just rambling here. But last batch, really good. So I'm anticipating, as long as I don't stick any of this wood in there after like a hardcore rain, I'm thinking, you know, 12-ish days, as long as I keep doing what I'm doing for the rest of that. So, because I'm anticipating the firewood orders to get crazy. I mean, it already is pretty good right now. And today is the 1st of September, so I'm anticipating, because next week it shows, you know, highs are only in the low 70s, upper 60s, and one of the nights it shows upper 40s at night. So temperatures are going to change. It gets cold, people get antsy then, which is good. It's good for business. I got a feeling this year is going to be really cold. this winter, which is good. Good for business. Get a little nervous though, because I want to be able to keep up with demand, because I'm trying to grow the firewood as much as I can this winter, fall, spring, and so on. You know, I say that every year, and I always double my inventory, give or take double, and I still sell out. I mean, I think a lot of people do. It's just how it goes. When you have a good product, and you know, you stand behind it, and word spreads fast. So, but yeah, kiln's running as it should. That's another thing. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have time to do it this winter, to build a much larger kiln, because I want to do it. I just don't have the time right now. I just don't, because ideally I would like to be able to dry, you know, for sure twice as much, but the container I'm looking at getting, it'll be taller. It'll be a 40-some footer at least, and I'll be able to double stack. I'll probably only still do a single row, just because the way I'm gonna do it with the airflow, I feel like that's just the best. But I may change my mind. I have other plans or other ideas of what I'm gonna do for it, but I know it'll probably take longer to dry because there's more wood in there. Hence why I'm gonna try to up the heat temp, airflow. But with that being said, say I put in 40 baskets, right? Well, let's say 20 baskets. And it takes 7 days for a mixed versus 5 days for 5 or 5 for 6. I'm drying literally almost 3 to 4 times the amount in just a little bit more period of time. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see, because I would like to be able to pull this out of here and concrete this and the whole 9 yards, but that's down the road. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, keep earning.